This is my video on Emma Fitzgerald. She was ordered on February 1st, 1957 by Northwestern Mutual. They were the company that contracted the Great Lakes Engineering Works to make the freighter, and she was named after the company's president, Emma Fitzgerald. The Fitz was launched on June 7th of 1958, and her maiden voyage was on September 24th of the same year. When she was launched, she was the biggest ship in the Great Lakes, and till this day, she is the largest ship to sink in the Great Lakes. And on September 22nd of 1958, it completed its 9 days of sea trials. The Fitz have broken a lot of its records. Many of them were her own also. She could hold up to 13,632 gross tons and 26,000 deadweight tons. The deadweight tons is how much the ship could carry, how much material it could carry before it sets out to the next destination. And she was 729 feet long and 75 feet wide. She mostly carried taconite, or iron ore. It's the same thing. And she was given a lot of nicknames throughout the years. She was called Big Fitz, Mighty Fitz, Toledo Express, Titanic of the Great Lakes, and the Pride of the American Side. Her fate. These ships were built to last half a century, and hers was cut short. On November 10th of 75, she sunk. To this day, it's still a mystery on how the Fitz sunk, but it has been just said that it was lost to the storm. 4 days later, on November 14th, U.S. Coast Guard in the U.S. Navy Lockheed Martin found magnetic anomalies in the water, and it was declared that it was the Fitz. It laid 15 miles away from Dead Man's Cove, Ontario, and was 17 miles from Whitefish Point. After it sank, there were many theories on what made the freighter sink. It could have been a structural failure, or the cargo hold could have been flooded, it could have been rogue waves, or it could have been damage to the topside, or a shoaling. And a shoaling is a submerged ridge or bank under the water that's close to the surface. Or it could have been a lot of other contributing factors, like not having the right instruments. The Fitz did not have a fathometer, which is used to detect the depth of water by sonar. Or it could have been the weather, of course, and it could also have been maintenance in the freighter. Maybe something wasn't ready for its next voyage. There's some memorials about the Fitz. After its wreck, many of the parts of the ship were recovered. For example, the anchor is at Dawson's Great Lakes Museum on Belle Isle. And on July 4th, 1995, the bell from the Fitz was recovered and is at Great Lakes Shipwreck Museum at Whitefish Point. The bell also has the names of all the crew members engraved on it. On November 10th, every year, the Split Rock Lighthouse in Silver Bay, Minnesota, turns on its light in honor of the Fitz. And the steamship Valley Camp in Sault Ste. Marie has lifeboats from the ship and photos and die-cast models, just like Dawson's has also. And in popular culture, songs, books, and musicals were made about the ship and the wreck. The most widely known one is by Gordon Lightfoot, "The Wreck of the Emma Fitzgerald" is the song name. He made it in '76. One of the lines in his song, where he did change after more information came out about the wreck. The old lyric was at 7 p.m. a main hatchway caved in, but after some more information came out, he changed it to at 7 p.m. it grew dark. It was then. And Stephen Dates also made a musical called 10 November in 1986 about the Fitzgerald. And there are also T-shirts and collectibles commemorating the freighter, or drinking cups you could buy at most places. And that's my video on the Fitzgerald.